Today I'm excited to talk about a package I received in the mail. It was a surprise. I opened the door, there was a package there from Sigma Beauty's PR department, and it was a surprise. So I opened it up, and inside was their upcoming Spectrum eyeshadow palette, along with two of their very popular brushes. This is the beautiful packaging here. Opening it up. It came with their new palette, which is coming out, I believe, on May 13th, along with two brushes. Let's take a closer look at the palette. It comes in 20 shades. There's 15 matte shades, all neutral browns, along with 5 shimmery glitter shades. If you've watched any of my previous videos on eyeshadow application for hooded eyes or more mature lids, you'll know that this palette really is ideal for me. I love matte shades. I use only mattes on the upper part of my eyelid. I do love a shimmer, but I only include shimmers on the inner corners of my eye, and sometimes my mobile outer lid I might use a little bit of a darker shimmer. But for the most part, I like to use a lot of neutral mattes to create that camouflaged hooded eye. And I also like to use shimmers that are typically in the pinky champagne family on my inner corner. This palette has all of the shades that would be perfect for me. I know I would use these shades. A lot of palettes come with maybe brighter colored shimmers that just don't typically work for the eyeshadow looks that I like to achieve. So I currently have on an eyeshadow look that I created from this palette. I'm happy with it. I'm looking forward to creating some different looks, but I'll show you today what shades I chose for this look and how I applied them. I began with this Sigma blending brush in E35, and I dipped it into this color here, Coriander, which I basically covered my entire lid with that to create a nice base for the rest of the eyeshadow look. It did go on very nicely. It was creamy, and we'll see how well it blends. Next up, I'm using my MAC 221 brush, and it's similar to that previous Sigma blending brush, except it's smaller, which tends to work a little bit better for me with my smaller eyes in terms of creating the camouflage for the hooded eye. And for that, I went in and used this color here in Camel, starting at the outside edges and just kind of working my way in, camouflaging, creating that depth with the darker color in Camel. Up next, I took this medium sweeper brush from Sigma, and I used this color here in Homemade, and I thought it's quite different than the Camel, but it contrasted really nicely. So I applied that to the outer edges of my eye, almost to create a sort of a subtle smoky eye look, create a little bit of extra dimension. Having done that, I went back in with my large blending brush from Sigma, and I just blend all my matte shades in together. I like to blend my mattes in before applying the shimmer. I find that once I've applied the shimmer, I don't really want to go in with a full blend because the shimmer will tend to migrate over to areas where I typically like to only stick with the matte shadows. For the bottom lid, I went in again with this medium shadow brush here from Sigma, and I used the Camel again, and this brush worked really well. It's not too thick, not too thin for my lower lid, just to give it a nice look. It was very creamy. It didn't have a lot of fallout, so far so good. This palette's working really well for me. Next up, I took my MAC small blending brush and I used this color here in Spiced Peaches. It's a gorgeous shimmer shade that I thought worked really well with the Camel and the Homemade shades that I had already applied. So I took that, applied it to the corner areas of my eye. After wiping this off with my magic eraser, I did the final touch, which was dipping it into this color here, Dune, and just added a little spot to the very corner of my eye. I love to do that at the end of my eyeshadow look. I think it just adds a little freshness and a little pop to the overall look. Taking just a quick closer look at the brushes that I used for this eyeshadow was this one here, the Sigma blending brush in E35. It's a terrific blending brush. This one here, one of my favorites, it's very similar to the Sigma one, but it's smaller. And this is my MAC 221. Then I used this eyeshadow brush here called the Medium Sweeper. It's E54 from Sigma Beauty, which is great for when you want a little bit more precision versus these blenders. And this one here is one of my favorite brushes for the inner eye. I don't know the code for it. This is actually a MAC brush. It's very similar to this eyeshadow brush here from Sigma. It's just a much smaller version. And I love this brush for my inner eyes. So those are the 4 brushes that I chose for this look. And I think they did a pretty thorough job. So that's it. Thank you so much, Sigma Beauty PR, for sending me this. I think it's a wonderful palette. The shades that I chose to use were all very good quality, very blendable, not a lot of fallout. As far as the shades go in this palette, they're right down my alleyway. I'm on board for 15 neutral shades of matte eyeshadow. And as far as the shimmers go, they're in the paler, lighter category of color family, and that works for me. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.